If you've been lurking around the gacha community lately, you've most likely heard of a person named Beowulf being brought up. They are, or were, the creator and now former manager of Chibimation, which was once hyped up to be one of the best dress-up games out there, with hundreds and thousands of assets, advanced customization options, and even the ability to import your own assets. Well, if you've been paying attention or keeping an eye on the situation since 2025, you'll realize there's been a lot of controversy surrounding this person. Today, we'll be going into Beowulf and the Arssen situation, and more specifically, how not to take accountability. Throughout this video, I will be addressing Beo with she, they, as listed in their pronouns. Do not attack anybody mentioned in this video, and do not leave transphobic or ableist comments, especially regarding Beo's DID diagnosis and schizophrenia. This video is purely meant to cover the actions Beo has done and go over the recent document they made on Arssen. Also, please do not go out of your way to bother said individuals. Please, form your own opinion, and do not use the information stated in this video as reason or justification to insult, harass, or be transphobic. On July 6th, Beo officially returned to YouTube with a document explaining where the $10,000 donated to the game's Ko-fi page had gone. I'll leave Arssen's videos in the description, as I feel she does a much better job going into it than I could. But to summarize, out of the $10K donated, only around 700 had been returned to one of the managers of the Chibimation team. When asked to provide proof of where the rest of the funds had gone, Beo was silent and refused to show any proof, choosing to step down as the manager of Chibimation, along with the Google Docs listed in the community post and the comments being turned off. They also threatened to sue anybody who claims they stole $10K. While stole is definitely a strong word, you absolutely cannot deny the fact that the funds were misused and not spent like they intended. Such things included 2 Minecraft servers which, to my knowledge, contributed absolutely nothing to the game development, as well as 20 copies of Minecraft, which cost $13 a piece and summed up to 260. Funds were also used for personal gains by Beo, such as a standing laptop desk, keyboard, and iPad repair. While yes, some of the fees did go to management, they were mostly used for personal gains. I personally don't see the reason behind hosting a Minecraft server if it doesn't contribute to the game whatsoever, even if it was for the staff members. You cannot claim that you didn't mismanage the funds when the game's own Ko-fi page promised the funds would be used towards game development, not personal expenses, which makes it misleading to the audience who donate, thinking their money will go to contribute to the game development when it didn't. I also must ask, why did you only speak out now, and not when you were given the opportunity to? Your team had given you many chances to apologize, to learn from your actions and to stop repeating such mistakes, and yet when they asked you to explain yourself, you silently left without an explanation, leaving them to clean up your mess. Not only is that immature, it also shows how you refuse to acknowledge your own mistakes until it comes back to bite you later. Moving on to the Arssen situation. On July 5th, the first part of the doc claims that Arssen had sent photos of their face. Please, do correct me if I'm wrong, but the picture of Beo, specifically in this screenshot, was definitely from one of their TikTok videos. Beo also shows Arssen having a conversation with one of their ex-roommates. However, as the screenshotted DMs weren't put in, I am unable to tell what their conversation was. In the next section, we can see Beo, Arssen, and Flotalendi in possibly a private group chat, where Beo and Arssen are clearly very much heated. While I do not condemn and question Arssen's intentions on why she kept Beo, I also must ask why Beo even posted their ID in the first place. I don't see any particular reason why anybody would post their ID for anyone, even if it's on a private Instagram profile. If there's an explanation for this, please let me know in the comments. I also wish Beo had shown screenshots of the pictures they sent in the group chat, as I feel that is definitely leaving out some crucial context. One such example would be the conversation Arssen had with their alleged roommate regarding Arsen's weird messages, while some of them are definitely eyebrow-raising. In my opinion, I feel you can tell most of them were said as a comment in passing, and not meant in a serious manner. I doubt Arssen actually wants to milk Beo for money, as if she really wanted to. she would definitely be pumping out 10 or more videos about Beo in a row. And if you check on Arssen's channel, you will see apart from the videos, what happened to the video covering how 10K was stolen from Chibimation, and the most recent one, discussing Beo's return. Arssen has not posted about Beo at all. In my POV, bragging about views is not indicative of Arssen wanting to exploit Beo at all. The comment I genuinely do not condone, however, is this one, where Arssen calls Beo the R slur, and says they should go to speech therapy to fix their brain damage. I hope Arssen understands that it is an incredibly ableist thing to say, whether they meant it intentionally or not, as well as their multiple usage of the R slur towards Beo. I also do not condone speculating on someone's diagnosis. Mental illness is a spectrum, and some may have symptoms that others don't. Arssen is extremely at fault for being ableist, whether or not their intention was such. I feel that it's possible that Arssen is more so trying to say Beo may be using their dating alters as excuses. However, the wording and tone definitely matters, and being ableist does not help the situation at all. In the section where Beo talks about Arssen's community, in my opinion, this personally comes off as more of an attempt to say, I'm the victim in all of this. While I won't deny the fact that Arssen has her own faults, especially with the ableist remarks and the repeated R slur usage, Beo is also not free either. Beo, you were given multiple chances to explain yourself. Examples being when you promoted an 18+ AI sponsorship and your repeated usage of it, and your prior dismissal when your friends told you the harmful effects of A. Regardless of whether you apologized or not, you're still mistreated and hurt a lot of people who considered you their idol and friends. Continuing on, there is a remark made by another community member who states they want to make a video pushing Beo off a hill in their wheelchair, to which Arssen visibly condemns it, whether or not. On if Arssen continued with the conversation afterwards can't be confirmed, as the screenshot is cut off. There is also a community member who complains about Pluriket, a bot that is tailored for those with DID or OSDD, and how people thought role-playing automatically meant they were a system. I feel this annoyance may come from the concern that people will self-diagnose themselves with D, which is an incredibly dangerous thing to do. Self-diagnosing, especially with personality disorders like B, has always been viewed as incredibly controversial. I feel a majority of Beo and Arssen's community may also share the same concern over kids potentially self-diagnosing themselves with D. And the last comment, I feel this person was potentially trying to explain their gripe with how DD's viewed as a whole, but please form your own conclusions on that. To end this segment, I feel this document honestly tries to make Beo look like the victim, instead of addressing actual concerns and valid points from community members, while Arssen is at fault for many of her remarks, as well as the community members who partook in spreading ableist rhetoric and statements. The points Arssen made are still very much valid and reasonable for concern. In regards to money issues, as Arssen had pointed out, Beo very much could have posted continuous videos either daily or weekly to keep an income, yet decided to use money that was meant for game development for personal expenses. In my opinion, this is an extreme misuse of funds, as well as misleading the audience who thought they were supporting Chib. I wish they also had proof that Minecraft as payment was okay with the members, as without that, we have to completely rely on Beo's words alone, which I feel from what we have seen does not hold weight at all. With regards to members not having PayPal or VAT, I feel Wise and Stripe could have been taken into consideration, as they support sending money to overseas banks outside of PayPal. I personally use Stripe as the country I live in does not support PayPal, but it's also possible the team may have not considered it at the time. Overall, both parties are at fault in this situation. I feel Arssen should address her ableist remarks and the community jumping on spreading harmful and ableist remarks. But ultimately, some things definitely should have been discussed behind closed doors. As for Beo, I honestly feel you should just get off the internet for your own mental health's sake. I understand and sympathize with you for struggling with disabilities and mental health issues, but every time you make a response, I feel you always use your conditions as a shield to defend yourself, even if it's not your intention, for your own sake. I feel you should either take another extended break for your own health. There's no doubt your community cares for you and wishes you the best. But, in my honest opinion, you do not deserve another chance after all the chances you were given.